after 6 games in the 1983 season. I was injured in '79, and I had some. I didn't play every game in '79 for Winnipeg. I missed several games that year. But if you took that 1 year out and the other 6 seasons that I was a full-time starter for Winnipeg, I mean, we were 66 wins and 34 losses during that time, and I think I led the league in touchdown passes 4 of those years, and I was 3 of those years I had the most passing yardage, and so there, and this was in a time when there were a lot of great quarterbacks. So I'm really proud of the fact of what I did during the time I played in Winnipeg, and I didn't want to leave. At the time, though, Ray Yock, our head coach, had after the '82 season, he had left to go to the USFL, and this is going to become my 3rd coach I'd be playing for when they brought Cal Murphy in. So I was thinking that this might be a time that maybe I should try to see if I could get out of my contract and maybe go to the USFL. That's kind of what I was thinking at the time. Warren Moon had just gotten out of his contract to go to the Houston Oilers in the NFL, and so I was concerned about starting over again and build. And it seems like every time we got a new coach, obviously changes were going to be made. And when I first came in, Bud Riley was the head coach. We were 10-6 2 years in a row, and had a team that was challenging, for the championship. And they fired him, and then Ray Yock comes in, and we're having outstanding seasons, and almost probably should have won the Grey Cup in '82. We lost to Edmonton in the West Final 24-21, and had some things go against us, some bad calls. I think Warren had thrown an interception, and we got a roughing the passer call on him, and we had just taken the lead, had the momentum going, and they got the ball back and went on down and scored late in the game and won that game. So here I am. I'm thinking we're starting over, and I actually forced Winnipeg to trade me 6 games into the 1983 season to go to Hamilton, and it was a struggle for me. I didn't want to play with anybody else in Canada. I wanted to finish my career in Winnipeg, but I actually forced them to trade me.
Well, I mean, that's definitely interesting, because that's something like I would not have known that without asking, telling you or having you tell me,
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I love about doing these interviews. You hear basically the behind the scenes stories. I've interviewed all different Rams players, so I've heard, things to go along the way of like the politics of the team, like listening to one player talk about why this player didn't get re-signed, or like you just mentioned, like how you forced them to trade you, and just all different stories. I think it's really awesome, because I think everyone's story is important. I think it needs to be told. And with you had that awesome run in the CFL, and then you add even more luster to your career. You head to the NFL. You joined the Los Angeles Rams as a 33-year-old rookie in 1985. You lead them to the division title. You set Rams rookie records, passing yards, touchdown passes, passer rating. What was that year like for you? What was the overall transition like for you?
Well, if you even look at the guys that have been playing in the same league, so the guys in the NFL that late in their career ended up, going to another team late in their career, it's usually a struggle for them. Now, some guys, will play well for a year or so at a new team late in their career, but it usually their career usually goes down when they leave that team that they had been with for a long time. And for me to have to leave not only and go to a new team, but I'm also going to a new league, a league I haven't played in for, ever. And I've been in Canada 11 years, and so it is quite a transition to make, to go from one league to another, and also be with a new team. And but I think I adjusted, fairly well, because number one, I was playing in a system in Canada where I was pretty much a drop back passer, and a lot of the Canadian quarterbacks are are mobile and will roll out on passing attempts and kind of use the rollout to kind of adjust for a wide field throw. I was able to make all the throws in Canada in a drop back system. So it was an easier transition in that respect, because the throws in the NFL for me were just, in my opinion, were so easy because the field was narrower, and I had really outstanding arm, and I can make all those throws fairly easy. But the hardest adjustment is the terminology with a new team, and also for me it was a different style of offense. I mean, I was more of, it would be like like a Dan Marino, in his career in Miami, all of a sudden going to a team that hardly ever throws the ball, and you just don't look the same.
That's a really good point. I mean, honestly, Dan Marino had one of the quickest releases, and the velocity that came with that football. I mean, honestly, it's kind of similar, to you, because I mean, you were, the Birmingham Rifle, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie, before we came on and started doing this interview, I watched some of your highlights there with the CFL, and I thought it was pretty amazing. You made some crazy bucket throws, like on the other side of the field, and with the CFL, it was funny, just because I'm not used to it, because I don't watch the CFL all the time. I'll watch it if it's on, but just seeing the ball soar over like the goalpost, it's just
right.
how wide that end zone is. Just being able to drop that throw right in the bucket between two defenders, I thought that was very impressive. And you kind of played, I don't know, similar. I kind of see a lot of like Doug Flutie and Drew Brees in you. So that's kind of how, like, what I saw. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. You said Joe Namath, but that's who I saw. I don't know. What would you think about that?
Well, I mean, obviously I wasn't a scrambling quarterback, and I think I had good feet in the pocket. Like a Marino, you got to, if you're not a runner, you got to be able to slide and move slide around in the pocket and up and back and sideways to find those throwing lanes. And so that's the kind of guy, quarterback I was. Plus, my arm, the things I did to get my arm in condition, my off-season workouts were the things that really helped me become an outstanding quarterback and passer, because I used to do drills in the off-season that would strengthen my arm and get my arm in condition, and also give me a good quick release. I was doing workouts like javelin throwers would use. I would take Jake, for example. I would take just in the off season for 1 month, I would take a 3-pound ball. I would put pellets inside a tennis ball and tape it up, and I'd weigh it. I had a 3-pound ball, I had a 2-pound ball, and then I had I had a 4-pound ball, a 3-pound ball, and a 2-pound ball. And I would take the 4-pound ball at first in the off season for 1 month, and I had a rubberized mat that I nailed between 2 trees, and I would be able to stand, a couple of yards from the mat and actually go through a throwing motion with a 4-pound ball going into the mat, and it would just hit the mat and drop down. I could catch it, and I could get like 300 to 400 throws a day doing that. And I would do that for 1 month, and then and this is along with my weight workout and my running workout and those things. But I would take the 4-pound ball for 1 month and do those throws, and then the next month I would go to the 3-pound ball, and I would do the 3-pound ball for a month. And then when I got through with that month, I would go to the 2-pound ball and throw the 2-pound ball. And I'd be doing this, 300 to 400 times a day. And once I got through with the 2-pound ball, the actual football weighs about just a little under a pound, about 14 to 15 ounces. And all the time you're getting faster and faster arm speed by dropping from a 4-pound ball all the way down to the football in a period of 3 months. So that developed my arm. I already, before I even did that, I already had, a great arm. I mean, I could throw the ball, 80, 85 yards or better. And, but after I started doing this workout, my arm just got quicker and quicker. And I mean, I was able to throw the football well over 90 yards, sometimes, 95 yards, just pure just throwing the football. And that's the kind of workout I did. And that's why I think, I was able to make any of the throws, playing. Plus I had the accuracy to go with it. A lot of quarterbacks who have strong arms are not very accurate. And the thing I'm, really proud of is the fact that I was able to, use my arm and make all the throws and make the hard throws, but also was able to throw catchable balls and be accurate with my passes. And my I think during my career in Canada, at the time that I played, I mean, I was probably had the second highest completion percentage at the time that I played in Canada. And when I went to the Rams in '85, I had the third highest completion percentage in the NFL that year at almost 60%.
Yeah, it's incredible, honestly, just to make that transition. And honestly, I mean, it seems seamless because you were able to break records. And the goal, I mean, in the NFL, the goal in any sport is to win. And I mean, you brought the Rams to the playoffs, and you guys got the NFC title game. And I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that was right after the Ram It video. Am I mistaken there, or am I right?
No, you're right. You're right. That's when all that came out. The Bears had the Super Bowl shuffle, and I think some of the Ram guys. I think I was asked to go in. I really wasn't into doing those kind of things, and I didn't feel like that was something that needed to be done at that time. But yes, that's exactly when that happened.
Yeah, and what's funny, Dieter, is the fact that I've had Leroy Irvin on here, and he's like, I speak for everybody. We hated it. We hate when the song comes on. We hate it because I think really what Leroy was saying was, what it comes down to is it kind of took the focus off the game. We weren't as prepared, and it was kind of all glitz and glamour and all that, but we weren't really focused on the task at hand, and we allowed, Chicago to take advantage of us. And there was also, they had to fly in, or it was something crazy with like traveling and whatnot, where they had to fly in and do that, and they were like tired the next day or something. Like, I don't remember exactly what it was, but yeah. They hate it.
Well, yeah, I don't remember how they went about going to do that, but I don't know if that had anything to do with the outcome of the game against the Bears. I mean, I would say this: the Bears were dominant because of what they were doing defensively, and teams just didn't know how to go about attacking a defense against the Bears. Instead of spreading them out and knowing where all the blitzes were coming from, and knowing where the block, what players were actually going to be rushing. people were bringing all, backs back in and keeping them back in